All right. All right. This situation, huh? The best VTuber situation is a complete mess by ref. Oh, this is interesting. So, so, well, before we start, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. It is a huge help. We're on our way to 2.5k on YouTube. I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyways, okay. So this situation is a complete mess. It's a disaster. It is. That award should have never happened. It is catastrophic. We're gonna go in and I'll go along. I go along with this, okay? But it appears that the VTubing space is the iDubbbz of communities or spaces. We like apparently to get spit in our mouths and swallow it and thank the person that did it. Anyways, we'll jump in.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So today we're going to be looking at the results of the very prestigious and well-respected events of the Streamer Awards of 2020.
It is funny how essentially, right? Can you call it a global event? I don't know if you could call it a global event. At least US-wide event, right? Is less professional than our German Streamer Awards. Because we also have Streamer Awards. And they are much better in quality. They are much better in what's the word? They're much better in representation of the people that were in fact nominated. They are significantly better in the overall candidates. It is really interesting because this entire thing, right? This entire awards is a LA streamer circle jerk. That's what it is. It is. They even made like Hassan Piker shock collar jokes, acted like it never happened. It did.
This is something we've been hinting at for quite some time because there was some drama involving the nomination list and some of the people involved, and it really lived up to what you expect from an award show like this. It's ultimately a joke and shouldn't be taken that seriously because at the end of the day, this is not some neutral and ultimately fair landscape where the best streamer's gonna win each category that is assigned to them. Instead, it's ultimately a
it's a circle
jerk of a bunch of the most popular streamers in the scene. And during this, a lot of people are showing up to really just make a public appearance and ultimately create a lot of drama, as we've seen with this edition in 2020.
I find it like funny, right? They essentially said that, right, the FaZe clan people, right? I'm not too big into them. I don't watch them, but I've heard a few things. Regardless, they call them like homophobic, all these buzzwords, right? But they still want them to come. So they want them to go there, but they call them buzzwords. So you want the attention of the FaZe clan, but you don't want what comes with that. I find that very interesting. Why did you want these people there if they're so bad? This is like the entire thing, right? You can, on that alone, you can tell how fake this entire thing is, right? Cutie Cinderella be like, oh, I want, you know, so progressive and so social justice, and then inviting supposed homophobes. I just find that very interesting.
25. There was a lot of drama and controversy, and that's what we're going to be laughing at today, because what else do you do with an event like this? So there's a lot to talk about. We're going to see some drama involving.
Why does Kazahana out here? Why does Cutie Cinderella look like she's cosplaying Kamala? Yes. Does Ludwig know? The cucking allegations get worse and worse every single time. What is this? Why are we doing this? Put on some clothes.
The host, Cutie Cinderella, who spent over $1 million apparently on this event. She's being called racist for some of her comments. She also made some jokes to the expense of his.
Why is he running? What is this? Why is he wearing that? This is now a Chinese communist event. Did they accept money from China?
Don Piker, who decided to dress up as Chairman Mao for some reason, which honestly makes a lot more sense when you realize his regime executed millions of dogs because they're seen as a sign of luxury. But also, we had this.
Well, he is Muslim, which means he would execute them regardless because, well, dogs in Islam are considered unclean. Don't take that from me. I have viewers from Middle Eastern countries, so there is that. Huh.
Full grown woman, 29-year-old India Love, crashing the stage and making a statement, basically upset because another streamer who's a 17-year-old kid didn't win an award she thought he should have. And then we're going to see the very controversial results of the best VTuber.
He's not a VTuber. I don't consider him a VTuber. He is not. A VTuber, somebody uses a Live 2D, 3D, or PNG avatar. Somebody who also respects the space, respects the culture, understands where at least in degrees where that comes from, and isn't a complete tourist. This man hates VTubers, makes fun of them. His community hates VTubers, makes fun of them. You should, if you have Twitter, go on Twitter, check what Kitsunero had to deal with for the past few days. Gatekeep like your hobby depends on it. Gatekeep like it's on the verge of getting overrun by normies. And I've seen people saying like, "Oh, this is a good thing. This is a good thing, right? Getting normies in is a good thing, right?" And I'm like, when has that ever saved? When has that ever helped a medium? It killed Warhammer because they needed to rewrite the lore because, well, they didn't like that it was very male coded, right? That there was a lot of men in that. D&D, that didn't help them. Wizards of the Coast in general. Anime, there's a reason we have a lot of tourists who come into anime and demand that change. That is problematic. That is problematic. And we have that in VTubing, by the way, too. Like, we have that, too. Oh, idol culture, so problematic. Parasocialism is so problematic. Bro, you are a streamer. Parasocialism is why you can't even be a streamer. If people wouldn't be parasocial about you, you couldn't stream. None of us could. So that falls out of the window. And then this guy. He does not belong here. If we consider him a VTuber, that means the annoying orange is a VTuber. Walt Disney is a VTuber. Walt Disney might be one of the first VTubers ever. If we consider him a VTuber. He has nothing to do with VTubing at all. No connections to idol culture. He has no idea what he's in. I am sorry. It's simple. It is simple. You cannot be you cannot be voted best tennis player when you play golf, when you are not playing tennis, when you hate tennis, when you don't play tennis. It doesn't work. This is like nominating me, right? He plays Tarkov a lot. This is like nominating me for best Tarkov player if I don't play Tarkov, if I hate Tarkov. It does not make sense. It does not. And it's not that he doesn't deserve a win. He does deserve an award. He's been blowing up quite a bit. But not in this category. Like, how about new upcoming streamer? Right? He's been blowing up for like the past 3 months or so. That would have been a category he would have deserved. In my opinion, this win should have either gone to either Iron Mouse or Kenji. I feel like Kenji would have been also a nice option. I find it funny, right? The argument that people make, basically like, oh, you're just mad your favorite booba streamer with a child avatar didn't win. Do we just ignore Kenji? Now, I have my problems with Kenji from past drama, right? But I think, like, at this point, it's been gone so far now, it doesn't matter that much. Nobody really cares. But I find it funny, because everyone keeps ignoring Kenji. Kenji was there, right? He was there. Just saying. And there's plenty of people who wanted Kenji to win. So this doesn't work. But yeah, Go if you have Twitter, go check Kitsunero's Twitter. You will see man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. You will see very funny things, like somebody saying the first VTuber is an AI. Kitsuna isn't an AI. What is this? What are we doing?
Award. We'll get into that. But also, there is another situation where Kai was called Diddy by one of the hosts, and that obviously sparked.
What the actual fuck? These street. Ugh. Get this woman out of here. Get this chick out of here. What the actual fuck? What the fuck?
A lot of controversy, but let's begin with the host, Cutie Cinderella, who's been in a lot of drama recently. She's been involved with the whole Collargate situation, as we've covered before, and she made some funny jokes, I will say. She made a joke about Dan Clancy being ultimately a creepy old man. Not really much of a joke. People just kind of know that at this point, but she made a lot of jokes at the expense of Hassan Piker. That was really a theme of the night. Here's one of the examples of that.
Stay seated as much as possible. Hassan, if you see Sea Dog get up, you can use your remote.
Now, ultimately, this is very funny. This is a funny interaction.
Ay caramba. El cringe. What are we doing?
Action given the two people this is between, because number one, you have Cutie.
Yes, everybody who clips this is the pedo, right? That's what she said. Diabolical.
Cinderella, who ultimately contradicted statements made by Hassan Piker a couple months ago when the whole shock collar incident started, Collargate, if you will. She came out with a statement as a co-host on a podcast with Hassan and someone who spends a lot of time with him, and said there is tape on the collar and there was also shock prongs that were taken off, which completely contradicted everything Hassan had said up until that point. And there was a bunch of crash outs from...
Yeah, like, it's a vibration collar, but it has technically the shock function. Sure, buddy.
Her when she was criticized for that, or at least exposed for contradicting him. And now we're also seeing these jokes where...
Yeah, I love this, by the way. Free Kaya. Peak.
Hassan and all these people involved with the controversy are trying to say, ha, we're in on the joke too. Which is totally not the reality. Okay, Hassan is seething about this. This is why it's continued on for so long. In fact, only a couple days ago, he crashed out because someone approached him in real life with a photo of a Collargate meme. In fact, Hassan was so mad about this, he compared that experience of someone standing next to him with a meme to Emiru being S.
It's funny, right? That he has to make that comparison to Emiru getting SA'd. No, that's not the case. Sorry, buddy. It looks like he works in IT. What is with the glasses?
Sade at TwitchCon. They're not in on the joke, ladies and gentlemen. They're trying to play it off now. But you might have been looking at his outfit and saying to yourself, what's going on here? Well, I think his post here makes it very clear. It's captioned, I'm at a very Chinese point in my life. Do you know anyone else who could tweet something like this and his fans like unironically support it? He's literally dressed up like Chairman Mao, which is...
Find it funny. Find it very funny. So he's pro-censorship. That doesn't surprise me, actually. He also has no issue with Muslims being put in camps, apparently, right? Because he's very Chinese. At a very Chinese point in his life, right? So he has no issues with what you style cams for the Chinese Muslim populations, right? The Uyghurs or whatever they're called. I think I butchered that name. Something like that. Very interesting.
A leader, an incompetent and cruel leader in Chinese history who is ultimately responsible for somewhere between 40 to 70 million deaths, most of which coming from starvation and political executions. It's very, very, very wholesome chungus for him to wear this outfit to the event. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Look at the comments. So when China has no diversity, closed borders, and executes drug dealers, it's not an issue. You look like you're about to send tanks to Tiananmen Square. They would be less tolerant for you there than we are here. It's fun to LARP about China until your YouTube video gets flagged by an AI server cluster running on melted Uyghur biofuel, and you get disappeared by a squad of nondescript low-level functionaries in Shanghai. Dang. You won't stop until you shock 40 million.
You won't even believe how bad it is, right? You won't even believe how bad it is. I've recently just watched the video. I think we reacted to it. China is majorly responsible for the destabilization of Southeast Asia. A major contributor, ginormously. Essentially, they are responsible for some countries having being in the point where 50% of their GDP, right, 50% of their financial power comes from scam and essentially corruption. That's how bad China is. But of course, he loves LARPing as a Chinese because, well, he himself is corrupted.
Million dogs to death. And that is a comment a lot of people are bringing up. Given Chairman Mao's rule here, this is a real fact. During the Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 1976, pet dogs were brutally purged as symbols of bourgeoisie, luxury, and Western decadence, leading to mass slaughter and near extinction of some breeds. Interesting. Yeah. Like, the jokes write themselves. It doesn't even matter at this point. Like, it's completely shameless. He can pretty much do whatever, and his fans are still going to support him. But this is what he's known for at this point. He's known as the guy who zaps dogs. And I guess he's embracing it with the Chairman Mao outfit. Amazing stuff. But that wasn't the only joke. We also had Fan here, one of the co-hosts of the events, make a vibrating collar joke to Hassan, and here was his very interesting response.
Hassan is here. Is that a vibration remote in your pocket, or are you just excited to be here?
I'll put it on you later.
Is that a
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. I'll be real.
threat or like a... Could you explain your inspiration for your outfit tonight? It looks familiar for some reason to me.
Why would it be familiar to you? I don't understand. I mean, I got it in China, but yeah.
Maybe because I'm Chinese. Maybe that's why. It just looks familiar.
I gotta tell you, isn't that a bit of a weird comment to make, especially when we now know Hassan has a girlfriend by the name of Valkyrie? Okay, so...
Valkyracist, by the way. We must stay with the fact, with the actual name, right? Anyways, interesting. That's so weird. Ugh. It doesn't surprise me, but ugh. That's so weird. Why would you make that comment? Ugh.
This was his secret girlfriend for a while now. It got outed recently by people like Ethan Klein. So he's saying comments like that to another woman. But you know what? That's his relationship. He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to make jokes about putting collars on other women, I guess that's...
I don't... maybe it's not that deep. Okay, maybe it's not that deep. But that is weird. That is weird. I wouldn't dare doing that to my... Like, saying that to another woman if I wouldn't dare say that at all, actually. By the way, I wouldn't dare say that at all. But in general, I wouldn't say that if I have a girlfriend. That's odd.
It's his prerogative, but also weird comments and aggressive comments like that come at a really bad time when recently there was a big expose by people who apparently were in the same fraternity as Hassan Piker, who are sharing a whole bunch of creepy behavior that he allegedly did, especially creepy behavior towards women in his same college. But
it does not surprise me. Ever since the brothel situation, it does not surprise me at all. It does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, I guess, reading the room has never been something that he's been really trying to do. But let's move on to the very controversial
Chibi. I forgot. No, I forgot Chibi was there. I was always like, there's a fifth nominee. There's a fifth nominee that I don't remember. It is Chibi. No, I'm so sorry, Chibi. Chibi is also a good candidate for this. I feel like, oh god, here we go. So many people are gonna disagree with me when I say this guy's not a VTuber. Anyways,
results of the Best VTuber Award. Now, this was the nominee list. It had Chibi Doki, Iron Mouse, Kenji, Mori Calliope, and the Burnt Peanut, which will be the controversial one. Let's be honest here. We kind of know where this is going, but there was other stuff going on. So Iron Mouse, obviously one of the faces of VTubing, and she's won this award 2 years in a row. But the disrespect for VTubers was there from the jump. You pretty much expect it with streamer awards or anything like this. Once it gets into kind of the more normie space.
Yep. And I don't understand how we allow ourselves to get treated as second-class content creators. I do not understand how we allow ourselves essentially to constantly be belittled, mocked. It is not funny. It is not funny. People are like, oh, you need to be above this. No, I don't. No, I fucking don't. I don't. I've been a VTuber, somebody who watches VTubers since 2016, and I've seen this bullshit. And I'm gonna be honest. If that is the normies that we're gonna get, then just gatekeep it. If that's people were calling it progress. If that's the progress we get, it will essentially remove the medium completely from its like from its like origin, from what it actually is. Then I am gladly gatekeeping it, even at the cost of never growing. I'll be so for real.
Cases, you see a bunch of ridiculous and slanderous and awful behavior directed towards VTubers, and once again, Iron Mouse was no exception, with Jinxie pretending to crash his stream while listening to an Iron Mouse performance. I guess trying to signal to his audience it was so bad, he just wanted to pull the plug on his stream. And I guess that's what happens when you have to cater to a bunch of people who see anything with VTubers and are probably calling you a bunch of ridiculous names and Reddit tier humor. But anyway.
Funny, because the same people that also make fun of VTubers watch anime. I find that weird. So anime's fine, but people using an anime avatar is not. Right, using an anime profile is fine, but anime model avatar, that's no longer cool, right? I find that interesting. Especially since this dude, right? We look at like Queso, right? How cool Queso is. And him hanging around with Queso, right? You'd assume that he would at least have somewhat of the same, right? Being as nice or similarly nice, but that's not the case here.
Ways under the comments of that post, someone added context saying Iron Mouse can't leave her house. She's disabled, because some people are like, oh, why isn't she in person? Why isn't she in person? Well, she has an immune deficiency disease.
Ricky? Either this is rage bait, or he's really that stupid. I've rarely seen bad takes from this dude. Well, this is the first.
And Ricky Berwick with a big L saying, I'm disabled, that's no excuse for this stuff, referring to her performance quality, I guess, and then saying, correction, I can only go out on Sundays due to my lack of intelligence. He would delete all of this. But yeah, a lot of people were not too happy.
He deleted it, pussy. Coward.
To see that from him. But ultimately, the winner...
See, I have no respect for that. I have less respect for people that have horrendous takes, okay? What I have even less respect for is people who delete their horrendous takes. Leave them out in the open. Come on, you coward. Be a man. Be an adult. Come on, don't be shy. If you really stand by this, then leave it up. Unless you don't, because you're a coward and you cave in at the slightest wave of what do you call it? Backlash, it seems.
The best VTuber award would go to Burnt Peanuts. Now, in case you haven't heard of this guy, he uses what some people say is a filter. Some people say it's pre-rigged, but he's a peanut. Okay, he's a peanut. And one of the ongoing jokes in his community, they say it's a bit, so that's what people are saying.
It's not a bit. It's not. There's so many clips now, even after the Streamer Awards. It is not. It is very clear it's not a bit. He knows it. His viewers know it. Everyone else knows it. There's just a bunch of big streamers that act like he is when he's not.
That he hates being called a VTuber. He wants to be known as a P-tuber, as a peanut tuber, I guess. And also, he has made jokes about basically wanting to win this category when he was nominated because it would make a bunch of people in the VTubing scene very upset.
Every time I play with that guy, first thing he says, he goes, make sure you guys go vote Peanut for VTuber of the Year.
Yeah.
And then I riff him up with something. I don't know what I say, but everybody knows I don't like being called a VTuber.
It's not the same thing. Yeah, there. Kitsu, by the way. Kitsu. He hates being a VTuber. I like Kitsu. Sometimes she has some horrendous takes, but I am fully on her side for this one. Absolutely. 100%. I definitely am. I like her. She's cool.
Just because it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Doesn't it just mean virtual tuber?
No, I don't think so.
Do you think if you won, this question for everybody, do you think if you were to win an achievement like that VTubers would be pissed?
Wait a second.
VTuber
Hold up. Wait a minute. Shroud could be onto something.
This could actually be a good thing. If you win, you could, you don't like VTubers, you're a P-tuber and all.
The
So
master
if you
plan.
win the VTuber award,
Big rage bait.
yeah, think about that. Think about the damage you could do to the VTuber community if you won as a P-tuber.
That is an excellent point, Shroud. Excellent point.
Ready to strike.
Wow. I never thought about it that way. Honestly,
Vote
I'm
for
in.
Peanut.
I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, vote for
Vote for me,
Peanut.
gentlemen. Let's get them.
So I think you know where this is going. When he won the award, a lot of VTubers and VTuber fans were upset.
See, again, I also need to point this out. They're all like so progressive, right, at the Streamer Awards, yet this man is throwing around slurs, right? That I can't say, otherwise I get demonetized. Oddly enough, this doesn't work. This doesn't happen with retard, but okay. But it would happen with the F word. I find this very, very interesting. I find this very, very interesting, so that's okay. But inviting Asmongold, like, being like Asmongold being nominated, or other people that are more controversial, that's not possible.
About this because some people just outright said he doesn't fit the definition of a VTuber, which is a very semantic related thing we'll talk about in a second. But a lot of people also see the jokes in his community about not wanting to be a VTuber associated with VTubing whatsoever, and they thought it should have gone to a more traditional VTuber, if you want to say that. But this guy is very successful. He's blown up a lot over the past year, so clearly he's entertaining a lot of people. But I think it came down more to how he fit into this category and also the reaction.
It's not that he won that is the problem, right? It's his nomination and his behavior that is the problem. Right? Funnily enough, he has an issue if you call him a VTuber, but he has no issue being put into charts that compare the success of him and other VTubers. Then, now suddenly he counts as a VTuber. I find it's just he's none. He's not a VTuber.
From people in his community, but also people who just wanted to dunk on VTubers. So they saw this happen, and the comments are just obnoxious. You can see just a small portion here.
Is he gonna include the VTuber genocide meme or the decapitation meme that Kitsu received?
Peanut won because he's actually entertaining, not a corporate anime bot. Everyone's saying Peanut isn't a VTuber because your favorite man with a $50,000 model in
Anime profile picture, by the way. By the way.
voice changer didn't win, and they share the definition of what a VTuber is. And then this person says Peanut is the only
Yeah, we definitely need to make a stricter definition of what a VTuber is, because that's diabolical.
One with a personality, the rest of them are just for teenage gooners.
Which is interesting, because a large portion of VTuber watchers are significantly older. Like, there's a bunch of 40, 50-year-old dudes in there, 30-year-old dudes.
And then you saw this tweet from Kitsu that would pop off. It's got like 50,000+ likes. So a lot of people agree with this, saying
including me.
Non-VTuber won the best VTuber award. And boy, people were not happy about this one. The comments...
And she did not cave, which I love. She did not cave whatsoever. This woman is so based. She did not cave whatsoever. I love it. She did not give into anything. I love it.
Reek, dude. People are just angry at anything that looks like a VTuber. And clearly you can't have any sort of a disagreement or a series of questions about this whole situation without being labeled as jealous or a bunch of ridiculously slanderous things. Here's a small, just a tiny snippet of the replies to Kitsu's post. Wow, you anime incels are really insufferable. Why are you mad that your favorite 50-year-old man streamer who cosplays as a 12-year-old anime girl didn't win Get a Grip, loser? I'm glad he stole that award away from the mentally unstable. Well, VTubing is stupid. You don't get to be secretly ugly and famous. Yeah, you're...
Which is interesting, considering that Peanut is... by all their definitions, that they desperately want to... See, they hate VTubers, but they definitely want to push a man being associated... that hates VTubers being associated with VTubers. I find that very funny. Also, yes, this is the same people that we constantly have to deal with, is that, oh, you have an anime model, you must be a pedophile. You watch somebody who has an anime model, you must be a pedophile. Classic.
You're right, we should let VTubers who show 90% of their bodies and have a community full of gooners win. Do a face reveal, you fat AF. It's not that deep. VTubers don't need to be all lolicons. LMAO, you're mad because he isn't a cringe anime character streaming. VTubers as a whole are extremely cringe. Very glad he won over all of y'all, and especially over you. VTubers are a
It was never even nominated, the fuck?
joke itself anyways. Weird stuff. VTubers are mentally ill. You weren't winning, and he's a VTuber. How is he not? Because he's not VTubing as a
No Life 2D model, no 3D model, no PNG. Didn't come from, like, any, didn't come from the space itself, right? Has no connections to the space. It'd be like saying Walt Disney is a VTuber. It'd be like saying the annoying orange is a VTuber. If you don't realistically come from the space, or you're not realistically inspired from the space to be a VTuber, you technically are not a VTuber. Realistically, VTuber, it comes inherently from Japan. VTubing comes from Japan, straight up. Just the truth.
13-year-old anime girl. VTubers are genuine losers, not gonna lie. At least his fan base are not simps watching a woman that behaves like an underage girl.
Yeah, but they made very deplorable comments towards Extra Emily. Very deplorable, degenerate comments. I find it funny, by the way, because I am absolutely convinced that his fan base is very much still young.
Boy, that's a lot of projection, ladies and gentlemen. They see a simple post, and a lot of these people are just projecting about some very weird stuff. But it's weird to see a lot of these comments so angry about VTubers and how, you know, they say how VTubing is so stupid and lame and gross. And then they're fighting for their lives to justify this guy being considered a VTuber. In fact, if you go to the proposed notes, people have been trying all day to add a note saying, regardless of opinion, the burnt peanut fits the definition of a VTuber. And yeah, we're doing kind of the actuallys. If you have to really go to the actuallys, I think you're going to lose a lot of the people. At the end of the day, the people who think he's a VTuber or don't like VTubers are going to consider him a VTuber. And among VTubers, it's going to be kind of split, right? And you can see here, a lot of people think like this. As much as I love Peanut, I think this category should have stricter rules about what qualifies as a VTuber, especially since Peanut himself has said multiple times that he doesn't really consider himself a VTuber and isn't fond of VTubing culture. Here's another one saying, call me lame, but this is really disheartening to see. To me, it's not even because of his model, but more of how he holds himself. He doesn't associate himself as a VTuber and doesn't really represent.
Also, people were like, oh, he has so many viewers. He has so many viewers. Fun fact. If the couple VTubers right now that are like number 3, number 2, if we number 3 and number 4, if we consider him like if we do consider him a VTuber, if the VTubers that were in the 2nd and 3rd spot would stream as much as he does, right? That would be Pecora, for example, right? If she would stream 10 hours, she would eradicate this man.
Or support the VTubing community. A lot of people are like, haha, you mad, but it's really, we just wanted someone to win that supports the VTubing community and that are actually proud to be one. Here's another response saying, him even...
Look at Jarek! Let's go! My man Jarek is here. Yeah, I agree with Jarek, obviously. Makes sense. Yeah. It's basically just a joke award at this point. I feel like... I'm gonna be honest. This may be a brutal hot take, but maybe VTubers should just pull away from normie awards and just come together to make their own award. Like a proper actual VTuber award for different categories, right? Because you can definitely make different categories, like, right, best clip, best whatever, right? There's ways to do this. Unfortunately, I don't think that people would. Though technically, since a VTuber, you could also make it virtual, which means online, right? It would fit right into the category, right?
Being nominated basically showed how much this award was a joke. And that's really, I think, the ultimate takeaway. I don't think this is something worth like seething and crashing out over. But I think some of the issues people are raising about how broad this category has become, I think those are valid things to say, but ultimately at the end of the day, this is the Streamer Awards. Like, this is a joke anyways. Like, I don't think these people running it really care at all about VTubers. Let's be entirely honest.
Yeah, that's not the issue. The issue is that we now have a bunch of people running around actively hunting down VTubers, being hostile, insulting them, attacking them, calling them, harassing them essentially, sending like, death threats and stuff. And I feel like it's not just like, it's not the first time, right? It's like a constant thing happening over and over and over and over again. I think a lot of people are done, including me. I'm done. I don't want to see this shit anymore.
Or know that much. And even some of the people who lost the category, like Iron Mouse said, me cringing at all the people mad that Peanut won. Every VTuber in that category deserve to be there. The only thing I add really is that you have to be a little bit cognizant of what's going on. I'm seeing literally thousands of comments dunking on VTubers because of this results. So I think it's important to realize that, yeah, as mainstream as you might think VTubing is, this is another reminder that no, it's really not. And a lot of people are not laughing.
It may be harsh to say, but Iron Mouse being a massive VTuber does not make her the end-all be-all. I'm gonna say this. Because, realistically, what she's doing here is essentially for PR, right? She can't just say, right? It's a lose-lose situation. If she says, people shouldn't be mad, she's gonna get dunked on, like right now, right? If she says that people should be rightfully mad, then she's gonna get dunked on. So what do you do in this case? And it is really a PR situation. My main problem is that I kind of don't like this because, for once, again, it feels like you're allowing yourself to get disrespected, and then shaking the people's hands that disrespect you and thank them for it. I just don't like it. I just don't agree with how this is handled. I agree way more with the people saying that this is bullshit.
With VTubers over the situation, they're laughing at VTubers. And I think it's important to notice that. But speaking of cringe, let's get back to the event itself. Let's look at the other categories. There was a situation where FaZe Ronaldo made some comments about India Love. If you don't know who any of these people are, you're probably gainfully employed. But India Love, a streamer, apparently ran on stage and said that DDG and Rakai deserve to be the breakout streamer of the year. And FaZe Ronaldo said she has BBL brain.
Honestly, this is literally the category that Peanut should be in. This is literally the category that Peanut should be in.
That's pretty funny. But what happened? So, Adapt, a member of FaZe, won Best Breakout Streamer. Okay, he won his award. Then what happens? Oh, a grown woman runs onto the stage to protest who she thought should have won. This was not a planned event. She literally crashed onto the stage to do this.
Hello. Real quick, y'all. I know Breakout Streamer of the Year went to Adapt. And congratulations, and we respect you for what you did. But Rakai should have won Breakout Streamer of the Year and DDG. I don't care what y'all say. Shout out Rakai, shout out. Boom, 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 boom.
Not only is this just kind of embarrassing and shameless behavior, realize also this is a 29-year-old woman, and one of the people, like Rakai, for example, that she's whining about for not winning this award and literally crashing the stage to protest on the behalf of, is a 17-year-old. So, like, I think this is a kind of a weird thing to do, and apparently people were saying she was also drunk, which I guess would make a lot of sense, and you can see the reaction from Asmongold here kind of sums up how a lot of people are looking at this. And yeah, there's also some comments to be raised because apparently Cutie Cinderella during this was making jokes about Rakai stealing things. And people are trying desperately in tweets, with a lot of support, by the way, saying she's racist.
This would be like this would like putting SA superstar Nina Lin into this category.
Well, unfortunately for them, he literally does steal things. This is not a racial comment. He literally stole $6,000 from clicks and also shoplifted flowers on stream. And that happened like...
I just realized, you know who's actually... You know why Shroud was seething? Overall against VTubers? Because the end result was that Doki Bird beat him in the Marvel Rivals category, if I'm not wrong.
A couple days ago. In fact, the first event is why he's banned currently. And this was a bit he did. He went into Walmart and gave people flowers that he did not pay for. And
oh, I've seen this. I've seen this. Never mind. I've seen this. Oh, I know.
Then ran away because he knew when they exited the store, they were going to be flagged by security. So this guy, he's kind of doing what the joke is intending.
Why do streamers stream their crimes? When has this started? SA, stealing, assault. When has this started? Disruptive behavior. When has this all started? This all started with Johnny Somali, and it's never really dying down.
Right? But things get even sloppier when Fan comes back out, the co-host, and makes some comments to Kai Cenat, and basically implies he's like Diddy. It doesn't go well.
So congratulations to you. Oh, and also, congrats on your new documentary with 50 Cent. That was you, right?
Why is she laughing like Goofy? Go back to Walt Disney, you weirdo. What the fuck are we doing? Go back to Walt Disney. Huh? Why would you do this? Who in their right mind would do this? How could you sit here and be like, you know what? I'm gonna make a P. Diddy joke against somebody who has nothing to do with that. Also, was that racist coded? Technically? Because he wouldn't have not done the joke if it was a white person. Weird. Hey, the issues just in general so weird. Literally, she's the only one that finds this funny. She's the only one that finds this funny. Nobody finds this cringe.
If you all gonna be on the mic, now turn this mic, now turn this shit on. Turn this shit on. If you all gonna be on the mic making jokes, at least let it be funny. If you all gonna be on the mic making jokes, at least let it be funny.
Again, more just kind of generally obnoxious behavior. I don't know how anyone really finds this stuff too entertaining, but yeah, you know what, there's...
Yeah, bro's like... Kai's like, cringe.
There's one thing to make jokes, but like to call a dude and imply he's like Diddy to his face in front of all of his colleagues and friends and in front of hundreds of thousands of people watching the live stream. Like, I don't know, man. I don't think most people would take that one on the chin too much, but this right here, if this guy had an issue, he should have just said something afterwards. But, you know, I guess grabbing the mic away from people is a theme of the nights. Apparently,
I see no issue with this, honestly. I have no issue with this. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. Defending, like, after such a joke, such a weird, like, it's just weird, kind of gross, odd. Like, if there were some even if there were some allegations, that wouldn't... Nah.
Apparently, but anyways, things would get even cringier when Cutie Cinderella wanted to end the night on a positive note. And, you know, some jokes landed, some didn't, but I think this is the ultimate joke of the night, where she's saying she wants to build bridges and have an award show like this as a vehicle for togetherness.
What I was saying, though, is that I never created this show with the sole purpose of handing out awards. So little boy up there, I hope you feel really good about yourself, because this right here, this is a vehicle for togetherness. This is about building.
There's a vehicle for retardation and circle jerking. You're all jerking together on a pizza and then eating a piece of it. That's what it is.
Bridges, okay? That's what this is for. And if you're watching right now, maybe you're watching in a chat right now with your favorite streamer. Maybe it's in a Discord call with some friends. Maybe you took the time out of your day to come into this room and watch and be together with us today. And for one night out of the whole entire year, I am lucky enough that all of you let me bring you together, because we are so quick to criticize online, and I hope a night like this reminds everyone to slow down and find time to support each other.
Now, I'm sure it's not obvious right now, but
holy fuck, bro, holy jump scare. That's not is this the biggest they've ever been? This might be. SCP-9000 has the biggest glasses now ever, I think. They might be. Not only that, I think they're the biggest they have ever been. Jeez.
I'm really trying to focus in. I'm trying to get a laser focus on situations like this, because whenever I see stuff like this, I think it's a load of baloney. Okay, personally, like looking at this, her message about the streamer awards and how this is a place where we're having a vehicle for togetherness and building bridges and yada yada yada. It's just some kumbaya stuff. We all know this is just another circle jerk of the popular streamers in the scene, and they're just there to pat each other on the back and feel important and apparently create a lot of drama as well. But yeah, let's not pretend that's not what this is. On top of that, Cutie Cinderella being the person to deliver all this and to host the Streamer Awards is very ironic, given the fact that recently in an interview, she said she would be a much happier person if she never became a streamer. The timing on this, not the best. But there's also something else in this that I want to...
It's not like I hate these people. I just think they're fake and gay. Moving on.
Point out. It's not really that fair. It's not really a vehicle for togetherness like she wants to say. It's the people in the in crowd, specifically people who are brand safe. And brand safe has a very weird definition because apparently zapping dogs is brand safe, but being people like Asmongold is not. And this was his thoughts about the future possibility of him ever winning a streamer award. Spoiler alert, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Maybe next year people vote for you. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure, guys, for sure. For sure, I'm going to get in there tomorrow. I'm never going to win an award. I'm never going to get invited to the show. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. It's not going to happen next year. It's not going to happen the year after that. It's never going to happen. Like it, love it, hate it, cry about it. That's the way it is. They never going to give me an award. I could get double the views as everybody else, double the votes as everybody else, and they would say nope. And I wonder why. I wonder why. It's a fucking mystery. Nobody knows why. Nobody can figure it out. So yeah.
Nobody knows. Clearly nobody knows. Who would know? Yeah, again, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever.
And yeah, that's it. And so, because you wouldn't go. I mean, I never went before. Honestly, I never went before. But no, I'm like, don't ever expect that to happen. It's never gonna happen. Like, I'm just being real.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, if people like Asmongold, who clearly are at the top of the streaming game, are not even invited or even included as a nominee for anything, stuff like this is a joke. Streamer awards are a joke, and they really exist to create drama, clip-worthy moments for people to flex who are there, and also to bring up some discussions like, the whole VTubing thing we talked about today. It brings up...
Nah, they can absolutely be good. They can be good. I've seen good awards. It's just that this is not good because the hosts are not good. I think the main issue and the way the awards are being handled, the way nominees are being found, and added, the entire thing is just shit. And that's the main problem. It has nothing to do with that awards in general are dog shit. That's not true. I wouldn't say that. There are plenty of things I've seen that do look good, that work really well. It's just that this does not, because again, the hosts are catastrophic.
Up some subjects that are worthy of discussion, but not for the reasons that I'm sure the Streamer Awards intended. But yeah, that is the events. I look forward to 2026 if it happens. But once again, the Streamer Awards providing some quality content, not in the way they probably intended, but that's kind of the way things work. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video.
Simple. I wouldn't take this too seriously. Just gatekeep as usual. Don't let bad actors into the space. It just makes sense. Anyways, thank you for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.